Welcome back to another episode of my trading vlog where 80% of the views come from returning subscribers. If that's you, hit thumbs up. If it's not, consider subscribing. Remember, make a plan, follow the plan, no fear, no doubt. Let's start with SPY on the minute time frame. We're zoomed in really close. We had a dump pre-market, and that led us to a target, C, wave C of a previous ABC formation. I anticipated that the next move would also be corrective in nature because that's kind of where SPY's at right now. In this painful sideways grind, when the market's dumped and everyone got super bearish, I said, hey, it's going too fast. It's going too fast. And I don't want to get too bearish yet. And here we go. We're slowing down, grinding sideways, heading into the FOMC meeting tomorrow. We'll see what Fed Powell has to say. I personally think that the banking issues, the issues we're seeing in the banking sector are a manifestation of deflation. That this is proof that yes, it's working. The rate rises have been working. I know this is not very bearish stuff. It's very true. But again, my wave counts are suggesting that the markets have more upside, another uptrend before a big spill down to complete the overall bear market. And my targets are very low. SPX at 3,200, SPY at like 317. So just bear in mind that yes, the bears are going to be back at some point in time, but it's not yet. I'm looking at an ABC pattern in blue at the mini wet level. If this plays out, which I anticipate it will, we're going to see a test of 399 to 400. There's an uptrend coming through here that was lost. A previous bullish continuation price level at 396.68 will probably be a significant source of resistance. I did a good job calling this today. It was great. Saw the initial impulse, said, hey, guess what? Retrace, and then probably going to rally up. But as soon as we came to this peak and turned down, it was like seriously super early. It was probably only 10 minutes after we found that peak. I said, this isn't going to work. So I drew a triangle, and then the price just filled out the triangle for me, which was really cool. So that's SPY. We're going to move into the meme stocks. I know that's what a lot of people are waiting for. AMC, I'm not really doing very nitty gritty here on the 1 minute, but I want to follow through with some analysis that I made yesterday. I decided that this downtrend would be best described in some sort of painful zigzag pattern. This is a triple zigzag. A triple zigzag is the worst because it's just a fractaling of measured moves down. And I've been following those measured moves down for quite some time, and it was sometime last year when the price was still in the 30s, that my measured move down studies suggested that the price could fall to $2. And that's finally in sight. $2 is finally in sight, which is crazy. People laughed when I said $7. Now everyone's begging for it, I'm sure. Whatever. So we're making an ABC, ABC, ABC on these time frames, the minuet, the minute, and the minor levels. Seeing the completion of this downtrend, yes, expect to bounce, but honestly, the price targets are low, anywhere from 327 to 247. So there's a big range down here given how low the price is, but it's looking pretty bad for AMC. I'm going to go take a peek at APE really quick. Again, I'm really just following a big three-wave pattern, a double three, and then maybe we get a 5. So let's just check up on that, and I'm going to zoom out into the hourly time frame where it's going to make more sense. Yes, you're going to see this yellow A I have at that 120 level. This is where I was thinking we'd find a nice bounce. We could be there. Ape could be ready to bounce here to form wave B before spilling to wave C. So maybe up and then big down. Weird, right? But yeah, this is just following the analysis. It's just slow, steady, and on she goes. GameStop found support at 1577 and is starting to bounce up. Obviously, we're going to be looking for a double bottom through here. The accelerated downtrend from Minuet Wave 3 extension has broken, and now we're going to be testing the larger downtrend set by minute waves A and B. If we can get a break there, we're going to be targeting this first valley probably towards $19. There should be a little bit of resistance through there at $17.90. We're watching this closely for bullish reversal. Implied volatility has come up, and I said we want to see it come down. Sure enough, today it's coming down as we're seeing that downtrend break. So GameStop is moving per the analysis yet again, just like so many other things, and that includes the dollar. The dollar is also moving per the forecast. I was very, very bullish, and then as soon as we returned down through here and broke this uptrend, I said, nope, time to flip bearish again. And so I started a new count where I took this bounce from the low towards 100, and I said that's probably going to be our minute wave 4. We're expecting a wave 5 to continue dumping down. I have the sub-minuets drawn there in yellow, 1, 2, and 3. 3 landing at 102.57. With an extension, we might even see 101, in which case we'll be looking for a bigger double bottom on a bigger time frame. Let's just zoom out here. the dollar is doing some pretty crazy stuff. It's possible that the dollar is actually in a new motive wave heading higher on a much higher degree, and that would be characterized from this impulse wave starting towards 89, rising to that high in 2022 towards $114. Wave 2 can retrace 61.8% of wave 1. That's the tendency. Wave 2 generally fools people out of their position, and then boom, all of a sudden it turns around and off to the races we go for wave 3. So that retracement would lead to 98.99, and I would say that once we get below here, we can start to say that we have a longer-term bearish reversal in the dollar. Otherwise, what we have to be doing is relabeling this yet again, where this first push down is A, ending where I have minute wave 3. This is minute wave 3 or minute wave A. And then this would be minute wave B up here, and C would be another down spill from the height of wave B, or I should say from the peak of wave B, that is equal to the height of this wave. And when I do that quickly, you're going to see 92.62 appear. And sure enough, that's very near the low that we set years prior. So again, we'll be looking for a bottom test if we lose this level towards 101.83. So if no double bottom, then big dump in the dollar, which is big push up for equities, which is another thing I'm saying, that we're probably going to see dollar drop as for equities to rise. This dollar bounce from hell, the dollar bounce was pretty hellacious. It really was. This really wrecked equities, but I think now we're going in for a little bounce, little dollar bounce towards a lower level, which is going to support us in equities in the near to midterm. Let's check out GLD just really quickly. GLD is recovering a longer-term uptrend now, which is very bullish. A lot of volume coming in here and into this equity. You can see that towards the bottom of the screen here. Implied volatility is starting to rise as well as the RSI is pushing above 70. This is signaling some pretty bullish action to me personally. I can definitely find some sort of bottom pattern through here, and I should, and I'll be putting price targets here on GLD as well. But I've been focusing more on SLV. SLV is an equity, of course, not silver itself, but it follows the price of silver. I'm going to zoom in a little bit, I think, or zoom out a little bit. Maybe I zoom out a little bit. So this is the larger term analysis I'm following. We've had minute wave 1 peak a couple days ago, and now we've seen a retracement for wave 2. It's pretty flat, which I'm excited about, and the price has now pushed higher in a motive mode to set a new high and is now having another flat. When I see this sort of pattern playing out, yes, okay, fractals, yeah, fractals for sure, but here's the thing. The minute wave 3 is probably going to alternate in form from wave 1, and wave 1 didn't extend, so I'm going to say wave 3 is probably going to extend. I'm also going to say that wave 2 is going to alternate from wave 4. So if wave 2 is a flat correction like this, then wave 4 is likely to be a sharp. This small correction we see here is another flat, so we have 2 consecutive flats as we're making a new high above an initial impulse. So even if you are bearish and you're saying this is just a corrective bounce, we would be labeling these points A and B, looking for wave C. Even the bearish count's calling for a motive wave higher that could extend up to 2211. So this is my target for next week, and I've entered into some positions, a 2150 call expiring next week, and to hedge a cheap $19 put that expires this week, because if this breaks down to the downside, I expect the downside to actually be faster and fast enough for that hedge to actually work. Meanwhile, I'd cut my losses on the 2150 call. But what I'm really expecting is just to recoup the $4 that the $19 put cost me as price rises to $22.11. We'll get the confirmation as we get a new high. I remember how frustrating this flat correction was to trade, and so this is probably going to be similar, but it'll be over much sooner. I chose to hold until the close today. That's just a decision I had to make. When I'm trading options, sure, it's true that SLV trades 24/5, but the options don't. The options only trade during market hours. And so just bear that in mind. That's why I decided to hold, looking for this to turn into an extension of a 3 wave, because it can't be wave 4 because it doesn't alternate with wave 2 unless wave 2 is back here. It's possible we have 1, 2, 3. This is a big 4 wave with a small 5, but that doesn't have like a very motive look to it. It's not my favorite. It's very possible, too, that we have some sort of ending diagonal coming through here. But honestly, if we do see this pattern start to shape up, I'm still going to be bullish because it's occurring in a 5-wave form up, 3-wave down, 5 up, and then 3 down. That would start to make me think that we'd be looking at a leading diagonal triangle, less a rising wedge. Everyone and their dog told you that this pattern was bearish, but it can be bullish, and we would have an overlap between waves 1 and 4 in this pattern too. So this would again likely be a leading diagonal triangle, which could be the first impulse in a new motive wave heading higher. It doesn't matter how I cut and slice this analysis. I am really bullish on SLV right now. Let's go take a look at Bitcoin. I forecasted Bitcoin with a tremendous amount of accuracy. I called this a broadening top, and I was expecting the price to bounce between those trend lines, which it did. And we caught this entire downtrend from the 2520 down to 19,800. Since then, of course, the expectation is a bounce. I was saying that we would be on the lookout for a partial rise where the price doesn't quite cross the pattern, but we actually crossed the pattern, which is fantastic. And now we're even seeing a breakout to the upside, and it's very, very possible that this is still only corrective. We could get more waves out of this topping pattern. It's true, we could, and this could be wave C or 3 at the minute degree on my count. If it's if we're going to extend into that 3rd minute wave, then this would be the peak here of the first minuet wave. This would be wave 2 coming in as a flat, and we'd be expecting 161.8% extension at that point from that initial impulse off the bottom of the trend. And I don't have that labeled. Sorry, I didn't mean to get you excited there. But 31,345 would be the 100% extension. We can likely anticipate to see a 161.8 extension. That's typically what the third wave likes to do. If it extends, that's up towards 35,000. So it looks like Bitcoin is having a good time. I need to just turn off some of these things. Look at these futures. Like, I turn this off every single time I open this chart. And I have to redo it every day. It just resets. I have this big zigzag shown through here, and this is why I'm still a little wary on Bitcoin long term, is because I think we might actually be in an expanding flat pattern where wave A came up, B set a low, C sets a high, and the price is expanding here. And part of me thinks that this expansion here too is kind of a frackling of that pattern. There is a ugly double bottom that fits well here, shown in green with a target of 29,344. Price isn't there yet, but we can expect to reach it. The RSI was extremely overbought earlier this year as price began to challenge this incoming downtrend and broke it. This could be a good signal that this was actually impulse 1. This broadening pattern is 2, and we're going to look for 3, and Bitcoin's ready to go to the moon. At least in some sense to some people. It depends what your position is, you know. Implied volatility rising there is strong, and you're going to also notice that volume is picking up as well. So Bitcoin does look like it's going to be having a good time for a while. SPY looks like it's up to whatever happens tomorrow. FOMC, you know, Powell, he accelerates the markets. It doesn't make sense that he moves the markets. Sometimes the markets move, like SPY will dump even before he says anything. That's just, to me, signaling that it's the attention on the markets, moving the markets, and not something that Powell is fundamentally doing. So the idea of attention accelerating markets during pivotal points in the news, I think that's the best way to look at that as a behavioral analyst kind of a guy. So that's what I want to share for today's video. If you like, consider subscribing. And I have a video on Playboy coming out. Actually, let's show Playboy right before we go. Playboy found a good bounce today. And I'm going to turn on candles because sometimes it's fun to see the green. Yeah, that was a big dump off of earnings, wasn't it? And now we've had the RSI pass below, overbought, finding volume, signaling a bottom. We had the high wick candle here, which is to say we had a big tall topping wick and a big bottoming tail and a little body, which is less than a third of the total height of the candle. Really, this is telling me the indecision, and sure enough, today we have a nice strong push higher. We didn't close above the range of that prior day. That's okay. It looks like Playboy is going to be closing this gap, which I'm very happy about. I tried to average down a little bit here. Let me show my trades. Yes, I did buy that green, and you're going to see that I actually sold 44 here, and I did that to close a covered call. I just wanted to change the expiration, and I needed cash to do that. So I sold 44, and then I bought 38 more. Which wasn't efficient. It wasn't efficient, no, but that's okay. I'm totally fine with that. Lots of green down here. I think we're looking at a flat base. This thing is going to build a spring. We'll find this fill, and the price should be more or less stable, I think, for a while until we get more positive earnings. I'll go over all of that later. I am going to continue to accumulate shares here. Okay, I think that's it for today. This is getting way too long, as always. Thank you for watching. It means a lot. We had a great time in the Discord. Happy trading.